The only thing that makes living this way not accessible are laws. This is my home. This is the 50 million milliliter mansion. Not many people are going to be finding this. Earthships are the most efficient buildings until we can build with water. That sounded like a dare, sounded like a challenge. So what I've done is I've built my home with water.
Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're meeting up with Doc, who's got a very interesting living setup going on, to say the least.
We get to see exactly how he's built his home underground, and when we walked inside we were amazed, so let us know in the comments what you think too. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you do want to see more videos like this, make sure you're subscribed. Back to it.
Right, well, I'm Doc and I live as underground as I can do in every sense. I'm on a piece of land that I'm utilising for growing animals, growing trees, and part of that I also make products, and my reason for living where I'm living and for building what I've built is because I wanted to be able to close the loop on the waste in my business. So building a factory from the waste from my factory was the objective. That turned into a home rather than a factory, but the principle stays the same. What I mean by living underground is I literally live underground. The home that I've built is the 50 million milliliter mansion. It's basically 50,000 litres of water surrounded by earth with a kitchen in a bedroom. The idea behind the actual living underground is inspired by earthships. So the idea of an earthship is to be able to be earth sheltered dwelling, something that will heat and cool itself and cost nothing to run. So what I've done is I've built a earthship inspired home. The initial inspiration was from seeing the builds in the United States, but I also saw a documentary which said earthships are the most efficient buildings until we can build with water. So that sounded like a dare, sounded like a challenge. So what I've done is I've built my home with water. But that water is simply contained within the containers that I use for my business. So the house is underground but also underwater, or surrounded by water. Once I understood the thermal properties of water, I couldn't ignore that. It's experimental, nothing's been designed, nothing's on paper. The actual building process was pretty much done in a day. As I gathered those containers, I stacked them up. As I stacked them up, I put them in rows. As soon as I had those rows, which took a couple of days, I simply put a roof on it. As soon as I put a roof on it, it rained. That was my building done. So I didn't have to lift earth because it came from the sky. So as long as I was able to capture and store that water, then I was building the building at the same time. And then all I did was just buried it. And that was the build process. So this is the land. I've got a total of 12 acres. We're on top of a hill, so we're lucky that we're able to get the wind, which is handy for the wind turbine. But the land essentially is all on the south side, so we're getting sun for most of the day. So that again is a big reason why the home design is such. It's because we want to capture the most of that thermal efficiency, because we've got the best access to the sun. So there's unrestricted access to the sun. So we'll try and recover that energy as best we can. And like any building that's efficient, you want to be able to store that energy and keep that energy in the form of warmth for as long as you can. So as you walk through, we're lucky we've got a borehole. The borehole does operate from electricity, minimal amount, but we're able to use the borehole for drinking water, to just send it through a series of filters. The borehole supplies the whole property, but at the same time, being the country that we are, I try and use rainwater. Rainwater is a better water. Try not to pump from the borehole. In fact, I don't think we've pumped in the last 3 years from the borehole.
Alright guys, this channel wouldn't be possible to continue without the support of our sponsors. And today, that's Waterdrop. And this is the Waterdrop Core RO countertop reverse osmosis system.
So the importance of water safety cannot be understated, given the way tap water is these days, especially if you're on the move in your van using multiple water sources and you don't always know where that water's coming from. And with the holiday season being here, the best gift you can give this year is this compact, installation-free water filtration system. It fits perfectly in any home, office or van.
So I stopped drinking straight tap water a long time ago because, let's be honest, who knows what's in there these days. And what makes this Waterdrop filtration system so special is that it filters out 99% of impurities like lead, arsenic and other nasties thanks to its 5-stage reverse osmosis filtration system. It's also incredibly efficient, producing 3 cups of pure water for every 1 cup of waste, saving you water and money. And best of all, it's compact, stylish and completely installation free, which is my favourite thing. Just plug it in and enjoy clean water right away.
The hot water function on this is a game changer, especially now that the colder days are here. Whether you're brewing your morning coffee or making a tea for your guests, it's super easy and quick. But if you're keeping to cold drinks, then you can take the detachable water tank out and keep it chilled in the fridge.
The smart display is another great feature, which tracks things like filter lifespan, water quality and more. It's so user friendly, and the 12-month filter lifespan means less maintenance and more peace of mind.
So whether you're searching for a thoughtful Christmas gift, upgrading your home or living in a van and using multiple water sources, the Waterdrop Core RO reverse osmosis system is a must-have for clean, safe water.
So click the link below to get yours today or to give an awesome gift to a loved one. And with that, thanks to Waterdrop for sponsoring the video. Back to it.
Try not to pump from the borehole. In fact, I don't think we've pumped in the last 3 years from the borehole because there's no real point. But we've got it, same as the wind turbine. It was actually here when we got here, so we're quite lucky. We've got a little outdoor shower, which is indoors, but outdoors in some respects because it's so cold. During the summer months, this is where I do my teaching. I teach a farming system. From that farming system, I also produce products. We utilise the polytunnel weather when we can, when the weather's good or when the weather's bad. And just a social space outside whenever we can get a barbecue going, really. So this is my home. This is the 50 million milliliter mansion. It's a earth sheltered 1-bedroom, 2-roomed nest that is a pile of grass from any distance further than 20 feet away. Not many people are going to be finding this. The reason why it blends in is we've simply taken the earth that surround it and put it up against the walls. The total cost is about £2,500. That said, I was lucky. I had the waste from my business as a resource, which is what the main 99% of the structure is made from. So this is the naked building, if you like. So it's constructed from IBCs. They're designed to hold 1,000 litres of water. We're going to be burying them and waterproofing them so they won't be exposed to air or water. So these will last hopefully a long time. The internal walls are 1.2 metres thick, and then the earth is constructed, or the earth bags, so they're called, is hyper adobe, which is simply placing the earth into the bags, and then over time it grows out and disappears. So that's the wall after a few months. The idea is try to blend in with nature, be as stealth as possible, and if it looks like the rest of the field that it's sitting in, then, you know, hopefully that's enough. We're stood now on the roof. The roof is a green roof mostly, but this maintains itself. It adds a bit of thermal efficiency. Because of the position of the lights now, or of the windows now, this means that during the summer we don't have the full force of the sun, but during the winter we have the low sun coming in. So during the summer, it's nice and cool. When it's hot outside, it's cool inside. And during the winter, when it's cold outside, it's warm inside. So these windows, it's enough to let the light in, it's enough to be able to charge the building. Structure actually charges it. It's like a battery, it absorbs the energy. Over the course of the first year, it equalises. That means that there is a constant temperature inside in the insulated living area, and there's a constant temperature in the office area, if you like. So we've kind of got an inside outside underground construction going on here. Power comes from, during the winter, a wind turbine. During the summer, I have panels atop the roof. Those panels will charge a power bank. So during the summer, I don't like to pay for electricity because there's no need to. And then during the winter, I'm lucky enough that I'm able to connect to the grid if there's not enough power from the wind. So we have wind turbines, solar, water falls on the roof, so that's free. At the moment, I'm now redirecting that water from this top roof into a soon-to-be reservoir. But this is how I built the structure, was by having a roof, collecting the water, and that was the cement, if you like, for the building blocks. Right, what you're seeing here is just a very simple decking, and then the chimney. This is the exit for the wood burner, which is in the home below. This is just an old helium balloon canister that protects it from the wind, but it allows the smoke to be able to escape. The roof is all insulated, and again, that insulation is recovered or recycled. This has 6 inches of insulation on the roof, but none of which I paid a single penny for, so it's all recovered insulation. Prior to coming to the land, I worked in IT, I worked as a contractor. I was a single parent for all of my daughter's years, but I had a normal job. But once I understood how much a house cost to run, and the only reason why I was maintaining this house was to have somebody else come and value it, and somebody else come and appraise it, and then decide whether it was good enough for them. And then when I had the opportunity to move from IT, it made so much sense that I could build my own home, because birds do it, bees do it, badgers do it. Everybody's, except humans, are able to build their own home. So I thought I had enough skills to be able to build my own home, but also knew that the cost of a build had to be minimal. So that's where I went for the earthship route, and that's where I went for the waste, utilising waste rather than buying new materials as such. The reason why I live underground in a literal sense and also a figurative sense is that building regulations don't accommodate my style of building. You can't be doing anything on the radar. It's not to avoid the system, it's to just make life more efficient for myself. But also for myself personally, I can't find myself in debt year after year chasing a mortgage. There is no reason for me to spend the amount of money that I would do on water when it falls from the sky. All I have to do is collect it and store it. When the wind blows and the sun shines, the energy's out there, it's just the infrastructure. And because modern housing, or any housing stock these days, isn't designed efficiently enough, we've got to start looking at changing the way houses look, because they have to be much more efficient. The way in which the world is moving, you either embrace what's happening and prepare for it, or you pay the price for it, and that is higher energy costs and worse utilities. So, you know, everyone knows about the water that's coming out of our taps. Mine is clean, I know it's clean, you know, it's soft, free and local. So I'm able to live virtually zero cost. Well, absolutely zero cost. certain times of the year it costs me nothing to live. The technology that lends itself to van life is exactly the same thing for off-grid. So I'm lucky I have a connection to the mains, but during the summer I don't want to pay for the mains, so I turn that switch off. But that's something you can't do in a normal house. Or when it comes to heating, I don't pay any heating bills because I don't need to heat it. I don't pay any cooling bills because I don't need to cool it. The only thing that makes living this way not accessible are laws. So the ability to be able to create your own structure is limited by the laws that say we think this is safe. We have the ability to utilise the free resources we have on this island, but we're not, because the laws say that you can't have wind turbines in certain places, or they have to. Now I understand people don't want blights, but you walk in any inner city, tell me that's not blighted. And just because it's planned in some way, or just because certain houses have to look a certain way, or certain buildings have to be a certain way, it's inefficient. And we're realising that slowly. But the reason why this isn't allowed is because it's too much of a gamble from people who think they know what is good for everyone else. The idea of building your own design, your own home at low cost doesn't really equate with, well, we need to keep a healthy housing market. You need to make profit on something. I'm never going to make a profit on this, and I'm never aiming to make a profit. So that changes my mindset. I don't have to constantly pay out to maintain something just in case somebody else wants to buy it off me in a few years. The entrance is, again, trying to be as discreet as possible, but also as efficient as possible. So we've just got a very low wall here that just stops the wind throwing itself into the doorway. But this is basically the entranceway, solar panel, which is for the lighting, so all the lighting's solar. So we have a wardrobe that you have to go through in order to go into the home. The entranceway is designed so that if I do come in with wet or dirty clothes, I'm able to derobe and hang stuff up. And then this area really is the indoor part. This is where I have a bit of an office space, I have storage, I have an indoor compost loo, and then the actual living quarters, which is where I spend every night. So how did I decorate? Why did I decorate in such a way? It was, again, to hide how crap the wood was. So this really is just to hide the fact that it's OSB and OSB looks ugly. Yeah, that was the design inspiration. Everything is recycled, so it's just a matter of trying to make it look as not like crap or rubbish, really. I've done the bottle walls here. What I've done is just used clay or cob, basically clay and straw, and these just are old bottles, and it's just a way of filling in the gaps because all of the double glazing was free, and we just simply have 4 or 5 posts that support the roof frame, and it was just a matter of filling in the gaps. So I got a family crest, fills a gap. Everything else is IKEA soap bottles. And the only concrete that we've got is these blocks, simply because I couldn't measure the height of wood properly. The floor is insulated and waterproofed, and again, plastic pallets. The idea is that I wanted to get as much light in to the back of the building, but at the same time, making sure that the light comes in is not too hot. So that's where we have the light set so that the winter light comes in, as we can see, but the summer we don't have the full sun blaring down, whereas the direct sunlight will hit the back of the building during the winter. So again, taking the same principles from earthships. The only heating system I have is purely, I would call, recreational, which is a wood stove, a wood burner. But again, I don't use that because If you look on the temperature, it's running at 18 degrees in here, which is perfectly reasonable without any need for central heating. Again, the thermal efficiency of this means that I don't have to heat it. There is no need to heat it. If I choose to heat it, it's purely just so I can see fire, but I don't actually need to heat it at all. And so zero cost on that. This is a much more functional space. So this is storage and brewing. Nice and dark, nice and warm, perfect for brewing. This is basically a very simple compost loo, and again, more storage. But this is just an area that I can use as an indoor compost loo if I don't want to go outside during the winter. Compost loo means bucket and straw, or sorry, wood chip. Showers always outside. That's the wall. That's the IBCs there, the other side, and then the other side of that is the earth. You can't really tell that from under here. This is really just a raised area so that I get a view. The idea behind this is just I needed a separate workspace. Other than that, this is just purely just for viewing, and the eye line means that you're looking like you're in the ground looking out. The view is across to all my neighbours. We've got a fairly southwesterly view, so most of the sun will sit during the day on these two windows. Try and keep this area, which is the living space, try to keep this as clean as possible. That's a lie. But as you come through, it's basically set out as any camper van might be. We've got a kitchen area, we've got a living room area, and then a bedroom area. Minimal amount of furniture really, so it's not a huge amount of space, but I don't spend an awful lot of time in here except for sleeping and eating really. Trying to utilise parts of the IBCs, so these the sheets are from the IBCs. I've got a simple wood stove which is for heating. Rainwater and river water is filtered, so I've just got a simple filtering system. The sink is simply a funnel into a container. Everything runs on electric, so I've got a microwave, fridge freezer, kettle, hot plate, induction plate. We've got the air fryer. So everything I need to cook, it runs off of electric. And basically this is it. This is my home. I try to live as simple as possible. And this enables me to do it for free. Basically, I don't have to heat or cool this, and like I say, the cost of this was minimal. It was simply a bit of hard work and some crazy ideas. I don't see this as living in a hole. I see this as being one step up from a camper van. It doesn't move, but it's a lot warmer, and it gives me everything that I need. If I want anything else, then I step outside, but this is really shelter, and just nicer shelter than a tent really. It's more than adequate, more than enough space. It's really just tried to be as functional as possible at the lowest cost and with zero running costs. I really don't want to pay for anything anymore. This isn't ever going to be sold to someone else, so I don't have to have a full range kitchen. I don't have to have an ensuite bathroom. I don't have to have anything that most people would expect. What I expect is to be comfortable, and this is comfortable. Because you were coming, I've shoved everything into a cupboard, but we'll have storage underneath. I won't lie, this is where the compost loo lives during the winter, because that's a bit of a walk, that 20 foot. So again, with a compost loo, because it's easy to manage and there's no smells, I'm able to have it underneath my bed. But everything is stacked away in the standard issue IKEA samlers, and if I need to get it, I just climb on the bed. I used to have a big telly there, I don't anymore because I don't bother. But I've got storage wherever I need it, more than enough storage, and I'm lucky I've got acreage, so you know, if it doesn't fit in here, it will fit under a tree somewhere. Sofa bed, not that it will ever be used that way, but again, the wood that I'm able to recycle from my building and the trees I'm able to cut down from my wood means that I don't pay for I don't pay for fuel. This does heat hot water a lot more efficiently when I've got it on. So that's when I do the washing up, is when I'm able to heat for free. But yeah, this is again this was probably, well, this was not reclaimed, but this was again a couple of £100. The most expensive part of this is the kitchen, which was £600. So everything else was constructed. So the bed is just constructed, the shelving is just constructed. Most of this is recovered wood. All year round I have solar lighting because I use so little lighting as such. So this unit here just holds a battery, and then I have a PIR light, and that there's enough power from this to run the lighting. The idea is to try and make use of the free resources, so the solar and the wind as often, and if not, as a backup. I'm lucky I've got mains, but would I choose to put mains in if I didn't have it? The answer is no, because you're paying without even using it. So you're paying standing order or standing charge every month just to have that line coming in. But it's super helpful if you do need to have mains power, and sometimes during the winter it's useful to have it just for a production reason. So for me personally, I'd rather go with solar and wind. Once you had it, it makes sense, so much sense. So why would you not? My least favourite thing about living here is that there's not enough hours in the day. There isn't anything here that I don't enjoy. The problem is the solution. So everything that is an issue is something you can enjoy. So if I have to collect water, then I get to look at the view. Or there isn't. I genuinely don't think there's anything that I could say I dislike about how I've curated my life as such. The most favourite thing is the freedom to be able to just enjoy life, just the limited amount of time you've got. It just, I'm sick of wasting it on a screen, or sick of wasting it in an office, or, you know, and it doesn't bear thinking about to go back to that sort of business. If that means that I don't have fancy clothes, no great work. The cows don't critique me for that. So it's one of those things that I live my life how I have chosen to, and I love it. It's just that other people don't like that life on paper because I haven't followed their rules. But the future for me is definitely developing of this site so that my daughter has something that doesn't cost her money to run. She has somewhere that is either going to generate her an income or not cost her a fortune. Raise more chickens, perhaps, as well. I think having chickens around, they teach you a lot. But for me, this is a long-term project. For me, I've been here coming up to 10 years now. With that, I've been able to create a few businesses that are micro businesses, but they are ethical, sustainable, and they get me out of the house. So long-term, keep maintaining those businesses. Well, thanks for coming and visiting. You'll find any help and advice that I can give on the Instagram, and that's at 50 million milliliter mansion. So if you're interested in discussing how I went about building the home, I'm more than welcome to answer any questions, but all done through Instagram, and anybody who's really excited can come and visit.
Alright guys, well thanks for tuning in there, and a big thanks to Doc for sharing a story with us and showing us around his place.
Make sure to check him out on the socials. All the links will be down below in the description. And if you did like the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, then make sure you're subscribed. We'll see you in the next one.